So I just got done watching the Netflix Grand Theft Auto 6 special, and they did it. There's really no other way to look at this other than to give this team their flowers and understand that they met, even if you don't think they exceeded at this point, I think they absolutely met the amount of anticipation that people had for this game and what the expectations were for what they wanted to see out of it. I don't see how you look at this and walk as a Grand Theft Auto fan. I don't see how you look at this and then walk away disappointed because this to me looked like the perfect marriage between everything we know about what Grand Theft Auto is and everything that Rockstar learned to push open worlds forward with Red Dead Redemption 2. It really does feel like the perfect marriage of the two, from the amount of activities that there are to do. But for me, the big thing is just the grounded feel that everything has. And it really just starts visually. This is, I mean, easily the best open world game we've ever seen. It's really not even close in terms of character models and character detail. You've never seen something like this in an open world environment. Sometimes you might see that go up in a video game when you're in like a very closed controlled environment. But to see even from the intro, all those NPCs that he was interacting with that didn't feel like NPCs, the amount of detail on their bodies top to bottom, the fact that from the moment that he walks up, it doesn't feel like, you know, the world revolves around Jason and Lucia. It really feels like you stepped into their world. It just doesn't get any better than that. The amount of hair detail a lot of these characters had, you see it a lot, especially with Lucia when she's walking, when her hair is moving. The facial animation, I think, is world class. You've never seen anything like that in real time in a video game. That's really, I mean, it. This is kind of one of those periods of time where it's understandable some people might look at me and say that I'm glazing, but this is like earned glaze. when you've been playing video games for so long that you feel like you've seen everything, and then you see a team take a certain aspect of a video game to the next level, you kind of do have to give them their props. And that's even without talking about, you know, the lighting and the world detail. And that's on top of all that was the fact that this was all captured on PlayStation 5. I had to check multiple times. The trailer ended by reminding us that this was captured on PlayStation 5. I kind of still can't believe it. It still feels unbelievable. And then you add on top of that to the fact that usually when Rockstar shows their games, what you get is usually going to look even a little bit better, even if not that much better. Like when you think about this gameplay that we're seeing now, it's obviously a lot of this was like vertical slices. It was built up to look really, really good, to be presentable. But all this stuff must have been captured months ago, right? That they've been working on this stuff. So it's only gotten to look better. So I think the first big improvement, obviously, is those visuals. The second were the character models. It just kind of blows everything out the water that we've ever seen Rockstar do before this, before they showed us this. The other thing that I think was a marked improvement was the combat. I think that was one of the weakest aspects of Grand Theft Auto. Even Red Dead Redemption 2, I felt like the combat it felt a little heavy, it felt a little sluggish. You can tell right away that the cover system feels a lot more loose, feels a lot more dynamic in this game. When you see Jason going in and out of cover, it just feels a lot. You could tell it feels a lot better even without playing it. So the combat looks a lot better. I like that they added sort of a bit of like that slow motion Deadeye where you can see, you know, red is a kill shot, yellow I'm guessing is a wound or a disarm shot. So I thought that was really cool. The other, I think, marked improvement would have to be interiors. I think the interiors looked lived in, they looked busy, they looked right, they looked correct when you think about Lucius' apartment, or when you think about that sort of office setting, that office area, the shootout, and how dynamic everything felt with all the objects flying all over the place. You can tell that they focused on trying to make the interiors feel good, so that, you know, when you're walking around, it doesn't feel too tight, doesn't feel claustrophobic. You saw it very early on with the hallway shootout, and I think you saw it really good with sort of the office building mission that they showed towards the end of it. But look, overall, I don't really understand how you look at this, especially as a Grand Theft Auto fan, and you walk away disappointed and not super excited for the game to come out in November. Everything else at this point right now, the questions that I have won't be answered until I play the game. Because the big question now for me is, what's the story going to be like? The voice acting to me felt a little off, if I'm being honest. There's something about the rhythm of the voice acting that I didn't really like. It felt a little wooden, didn't feel very natural. But I'm curious about where the story is going to go. I'm curious if they worked hard to revamp the mission system. I think that's been one of the weakest aspects from Rockstar, is their mission system feels very kind of contrived. It doesn't. I wish it had a little bit more flexibility, so more ingenuity. So I'm hoping that they sort of worked on that, but it's just kind of one of those things where you won't know until you play it. And of course, with a game looking this good, I'm very curious as to how this game actually runs, and I'm hoping that runs pretty solid. I mean, Rockstar's usually been pretty good when it comes to launching a game that runs really well. But overall, I think it looked absolutely amazing. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. And I'm going to go watch this again, maybe like 5 more times.